big difference here. Obviously, GP, printed reports and forms, right? We've got GP's report writer that hasn't changed in, I don't know, 20 years at least. And then they added Word templates, which layer on top of report writer reports, right? So making the ability to make it look more presentable, but without an add-on product for GP, you really are kind of limited in those true reports. Certainly if anybody is struggling with GP reports and something like Forms Printer is a great solution because it can use SSRS, it could use Crystal. I don't think most people use Crystal anymore, but again, you can use other means of generating and basically creating any report you want with a really modern, report engine. So with Business Central, again, we have Word templates, but it's much a better version of Word templates than GP's version of Word templates. So if it's much easier to edit those reports, make versions of the reports. Again, much easier. They also allow you to use Microsoft's Report Builder like we use with SSRS. And again, you can have multiple versions. You can say a version is for this customer. So you have lots of capabilities there. The one thing that is currently still somewhat of a limitation in Business Central is it uses data sets in the reports, and you can't join to other tables like you might be used to, even with GP report writer, right? So if the data that you're looking for to add to that report is not there, then typically right now, today, we would have to do a small customization to add that data point to the data set that's in the report, so that way you can then drag that field on and do whatever you want to do. So again, it's all improving all the time. Every year, Microsoft's making lots of improvements to Business Central, and I expect this will get better too as well. But again, there are ISVs, just like Forms Printer for GP. There's an ISV out there that basically allows you to add a solution to do more ad hoc reporting, where you're basically building those out. Again, customizations aren't that hard. It's just, it would be required, right? Again, GP Smart List, Business Central has its lists. So if we're looking at the BC lists, and so if I just type in lists, right, there are 50 lists. And so, so for people that are, I think a big one typically for purchase lines. So here we have purchase lines list. Again, because it's an existing list, this could be exposed to OData. You can obviously share it out to Excel. So one of the things I haven't talked about yet, and didn't put in my PowerPoint, and I apologize for that, a newer feature that is on the vendors. It's throughout this, I'm sorry, it's throughout the entire application, something that just recently added, which is this analyze button, right? So if I'm on the vendors and I go to analyze mode, then basically it puts it into this, and you can save as many different versions of this once you go into analyze mode, and basically you're being, so maybe I want to group by, maybe if I had a class or something, I don't know. So basically you're able to grab one of these columns here, drag it down, and now it's grouping and it's showing, and it's got subtotals. And so again, you can do that within these. If I go to my invoices, probably a better solution show. Yeah, I don't have a lot of demo data in here. Purchase invoice list. That's a better example. So historical journal rows, so posted journal lines. Okay, my demo data is not working. All right, well, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the analyze not only gives you the ability to kind of represent the data, move columns around within this screen itself, do subtotaling, but then you can also turn into pivot mode. Again, this is its first iteration, but now you can do groupings within here. So I got my rows, I can potentially put columns. So, right, so you're basically doing pivoting within BC, right? And then you can save these If you want to, I can copy, I can duplicate them and then change them. So the whole ability to kind of, again, present the data more usable more quickly is really the goal. So did want to touch upon that. Again, here is Copilot again within the screens. So that way you can pretty much put some type of analysis logic onto the screen to analyze this data and then be able to reuse it. Again, they're really trying to build that usability into the solution. So GP, most of our clients are using Management Reporter or some other financial report writer tool. So Business Central does have a financial report writer built into it. So like the financial statements. So they're using column row definitions as well. Similar to, I would say that let me try and change my role. That'll make it a lot easier to find what I'm looking for. And again, you would not be able to do this unless you had security access to that, right? So if your user didn't have access to all that financial data, then they're not going to be able to get there, right? But by me changing my role and go back to my home page, you can see everything across the top has changed. Like financial reporting, here's financial statements. So here I got I can drill into it. I got row definition, column definition. Again, you can change those, copy them, edit them. I print. It's real time inside of BC. We have no data marts. We're not storing data somewhere else and synchronizing. You can do some of the things. You don't have drill back capabilities yet. Again, that's something that I expect will happen. But today these are just static reports. I guess with the again, other solutions out there, you definitely have more. But when you do have the ability to export those reports, so I'll show you that in a second. I got a picture of that again. But there's no more data mart, no syncing issues. Business Central integrations, obviously Excel, Power BI, auditing. So auditing changes, GP without another add-on, there's very little in the way of other than maybe who changed, what user changed something last and when, but you don't really know what it is. Business Central has full chain log capabilities and field level audits, so you can turn that on and you would literally know real time. Obviously, you don't want to just turn it on for everything because obviously it's going to eat up a lot of disk space, but you do have the ability to turn on audit logs and who changed what when. And so that's a big thing, that's something that GP doesn't have without, again, an IXP solution that's built into BC. Again, Micro leverages Report Builder, which is a very powerful report designer. Again, the only limitation today is that you're stuck with the data sets without you can't customize those data sets yet. List can be personalized. Again, financial statements, you can create as many as you want, all in BC using the column row sets and unit sets. Unit sets would be your dimensions. Here's an example of how you export the financial statement once you get to the report, get it, you can export PDF, XML, Word documents. You can do Excel data and layout or just data only. Again.